What's up, everyone? Welcome back to King Anime Review, and for this video I will be reviewing episode 185 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And this episode it had a lot of talking in this episode. So yeah, basically a lot of dialogue, and yeah, without no further ado, let's get right into it. So a lot of the stuff in this episode, as far as the dialogue go, a lot of it was added in to the story because a lot of this stuff wasn't in the manga, a lot of the dialogue. And pretty much it started off with Boruto talking about, Konohamaru suggested that he suggested that everybody besides himself goes to the Hidden Leaf Village to basically bring that data to the Hidden Leaf Village that he collected from the airship. And Boruto disagreed, and he said we can't. He basically was like, we don't want to lose you two, Konohamaru Sensei. And he actually did cry about Mujino dying. You actually seen some tears, which that wasn't in the manga, because in the manga Mujino was a character who really we barely knew anything about. In fact, we actually really didn't know anything about him besides his name. So he was basically just some random jonin in the manga who died. And in the anime, the anime added a lot to Boruto and Mujino's relationship. They had a whole episode dedicated to Boruto learning more about Mujino and befriending Mujino. And even throughout the whole core actuation arc, Mujino has been there. So the anime has done a great job at adding a lot more depth and detail to Mujino's character, and just a lot more than the manga gave us. And I like the fact that the anime showed us how much Boruto cared for Mujino, because in the manga, nobody really reacted to Mujino's death, but in the anime, you can see that it actually hurt Boruto a lot. And Konohamaru said that he's not okay with what happened, but Mujino would have did the same thing as him. Tried to basically be the decoy for the team, so the team can get away and escape to the village with the information. But at the end of the episode, they all decided that they were going to work together, and that their main mission would be to defeat Ao without losing anyone else, without anyone else dying. So that whole thing was great. Once again, a lot of talking, a lot of extra dialogue that wasn't in the manga, because obviously in the manga, like I said, Mujino, he was a random character, and characters nobody was really that upset when he died, and it wasn't talking about it after the fact. But some added stuff we got was basically Katasuke telling Team 7 that he was used by the Kara. He was put under a genjutsu, and they extracted scientific data or scientific information from him, and that he's basically partly responsible for Mujino dying, because a lot of they basically got a lot of scientific data from him when he was under the genjutsu. They extracted a lot of data from him about the scientific ninja tools. And basically Boruto said, you basically think that the tools should have never been invented in the first place. That's the impression that Boruto was getting, because it seemed like Katasuke was feeling guilty about the scientific ninja tools, and about the scientific ninja tools being used to kill Mujino. But Boruto said, yeah, he used to think the same thing after the tuning exams, but he realized basically throughout the course of the start of this arc, the start of the vessel arc, he realized that the tools, first of all, he had fun when he was, using the tools at the laboratory, and he thought they were cool things. He thought they were nice, and also, he learned that it's about how you use the tools, and he also brought that up at the end of the episode. He's going to show Ao how to really use those tools, because you can use them just like Ao told Boruto. They can be used for good purposes or bad purposes, basically. And Boruto's going to show Ao how to use the tools. And so yeah, he basically, Katasuke wanted, he was feeling guilty, but Boruto pretty much, forgave him. for what happened in the tuning exams and stuff like that, and that made Katasuke really happy. And yeah, that was pretty much the dialogue that we got with that. And then we had an anime original chorus scene yet again, and it was basically Code basically being suspicious of Delta and accusing her of being the traitor, and then Delta accused Code of being the traitor, and then Amato came in and basically stopped both of them, or he tried to stop both of them from fighting. And I knew we wasn't gonna get a fight with those two because we still haven't seen Code fight in the manga, and I doubt the anime will show Code fighting before the manga does. But actually, I think that would be a cool idea for them to do that, because I'm pretty sure that they can just get some information from Kishimoto, and I'm pretty sure that Kishimoto and the people who work on the manga, Kishimoto and Ikimoto, their teams, I'm pretty sure that they know what they want to do with Code in the future, and they can probably just give the anime some of Code abilities that they're going to have Code use when we do eventually see him fight in the manga, because I'm pretty sure he will eventually fight in the manga, or at least we will see some of his abilities and stuff. But yeah, I think that would be a cool way to get the manga fans, the people who, because it's a lot of Boruto, I've been seeing a decent amount of Boruto fans, or people who claim to be fans of just the manga, but they don't like the anime. That would be a cool way to get those manga readers, people who just like the manga and don't like the anime. That would be a good way to get them interested in the anime, show Code fight and stuff like that. But yeah, pretty much yeah, Code and basically Code, Delta, and Amato, they basically all accuse each other of being traitors. I mean, Amato basically said, yeah, I did maintenance on you guys, but I'm not completely sold that you guys aren't the traitor just because you passed the maintenance test or whatever. And they also brought up Boro and Kashi and Koji and said that since neither one of them had maintenance on them, that they are the most suspicious ones right now, most suspicious people in the car. But also, it seemed like Amato was trying to get them to basically stop searching for the traitor, because he was like, well, yeah, it was an airship mishap, but it's basically that it's not enough proof to prove that somebody is a traitor within the inner of Korra just because there was an airship mishap. But Code, he still seems to be super dedicated to finding the traitor. So yeah, I'm loving these anime original Korra scenes. I'm just liking seeing a lot of these Korra members interact, and these anime original Korra scenes is freaking fantastic. Once again, I knew that we wasn't gonna get a Code and Delta fight because number one, that never happened in the manga, and number two, we still haven't seen Code abilities in the manga yet. But Code is talking like Code, just like he was like, we seen him being pretty confident in the manga as well. Like he was talking down to Deepa, I mean to Delta. He was talking down to Delta in the manga as well. But here in the anime, he's still talking like he seems very confident that he could beat Delta, but Delta also seems very 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 confident that she can beat Code. I still think Delta is most likely. I don't know. Well, we still haven't seen Code fight in the manga, but I'll say for now, based on what we know, obviously I think Delta is stronger. But anyways, yeah. So that's what we got with that. And then we seen when Delta actually, she was wondering about what was happening with Code, and that's actually setting up perfectly what happens in the manga. But I mean, she was not Code, Kashi and Koji, and that actually sets up what happens in the manga, because yeah, she was in the manga, she was trying to get involved with what Kashi and Koji was doing, and trying to make sure he was going through with his mission or whatever. And in the anime, she thinks it's suspicious that that Kashi and Koji didn't get maintenance. He didn't basically, it was no maintenance done on him. So yeah, that makes sense why she would want to make sure he's doing the job. And then Kashi and Koji basically talked to Ayo, and he basically told Ayo that he's basically testing him and making sure that he doesn't have any emotions towards his former, comrades. So yeah, and then Ayo pretty much said he's just a tool, and it seems like Ayo, he's just a power hungry guy, I thought his reasoning for joining the Korra would be so he can get a new body. I thought that was going to be his wish, because maybe outers can have wishes fulfilled for them just like inners. But turns out, based off what I've seen in the preview, it turns out that Ayo is pretty much with the Korra because he wants the power. He wants power that they're giving him. And yeah, I mean, that's that. And then at the end of the episode, they pretty much all, you know, were getting ready to go and fight Ayo. Putting together a strategy. They said that Boruto, he's going to have to be the one to finish Ayo off because he has that gauntlet that can absorb ninjutsu. And he also has that chakra lightsaber sword that he's going to use. He said he's going to use that at the last minute against Ayo because he's going to, because he can only use that for a short amount of time. Now, I thought a cool idea would be maybe they should all store chakra in that sword. That way it doesn't drain that much chakra from Boruto. But apparently that was never brought up. We don't know if that's possible or not. I highly doubt it's possible because I thought they would have brought that up. But yeah, Boruto said he's pretty much going to have to attack with that at the last second. But yeah, this episode, they really did. It was a lot of extra dialogue added in this episode that wasn't in the manga. But in next week's episode, it's looking like we're gonna get a long. And I heard Studio Period, the main studio. I heard they're gonna be the ones animating next week's episode, so it should be very well animated. And we're gonna get a fight between Ayo and Team 7. And I did see some like Sarda using the Fireball Jutsu, Miski, using some hand-to-hand combat on Ayo. That wasn't in the manga, so they are adding in a lot of details, and it seems like they're gonna add a lot of original scenes into the fight between Ayo and Team 7. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to next week's episode. But the main thing I'm looking forward to is Kawaki appearing in the anime, because technically he already appeared in the anime last week. So it's not a spoiler anymore. He's definitely going to be appearing in the anime. But there is, like, when Kawaki appears in the anime, the only thing I'll say, it's not necessarily a huge spoiler, but Kawaki, there is going to be him fighting someone. So I hope that Studio Period is also animating that, because that's what I'm mainly concerned about. I could care less about Ayo. To be honest, I really couldn't care less about him. I don't think he's a cool villain or anything like that. He's just decent to me. But Kawaki, once Kawaki gets into the anime, and when we see Kawaki fighting and stuff, that's what needs to be top tier animated. Like, we need to get some top tier animation for that stuff. But anyways, with that being said, yeah, that's all I gotta say about this week's episode of Boruto. And yeah, as far as my ratings, I'm gonna give the art a 9.5. It was pretty good, pretty standard throughout the whole episode, pretty good. Not like last week where we got some pretty bad looking artwork towards the end of the episode. And this episode, the artwork was pretty much good throughout. But they did show a flashback of what happened in last week's episode, and they show a little bit of bad artwork that we got in last week's episode when Boruto's face was looking a little bit weird when Mujino died. But yeah, so 9.5 for the art. Animation, 9.5. I mean, it was pretty much nothing but talking throughout this entire episode for the most part. And the story for the episode was a 10 out of 10. They did a great job at adding detail and depth to the story from the manga that they adapted into the anime. And they've been doing that throughout this entire arc. So, that's to be expected at this point. Adding a lot more detail and just great stuff, really. Because like I said, in the manga, no, people, like, there wasn't really a reaction to Mujino's death. He was just some random Jonin who died, and nobody really cared about him like that. And in the anime, you can see how much pain Mujino's death caused Boruto, and that was just some great stuff overall. The extra dialogue, all of that stuff was great. So anyways, with that being said, overall, I'm gonna give it a 10 out of 10. The story was fantastic. The episode was just great overall. 10 out of 10 episode for me. And yeah, it was a 10 out of 10 episode. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. If you liked the video, please drop a like. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. And also click that notification bell to be notified on all of my future videos. And drop me a comment Let me know what you thought of my review and of the video. And of the episode in the comment section below. And with that being said, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.